I'm so excited to share with you guys what's in this yellow sketchbook for the sketchbook tour. This is my first one because I wander from sketchbook to sketchbook and I feel so random and I never finish. I always leave empty pages. I have so many random sketchbooks with empty pages in the end. So I'm trying to be better at that so I can kind of have more like a journal-like sketchbook. But man, that's hard sometimes for me. I don't know why, but I really love this sketchbook, and so much so that I had to find where, because I got it as a gift, so I had to find where it was. I do have that, so if you're interested in this size of sketchbook, you like the yellow, go check out the link in the description because I found it. Yay! So I can get another one. I wish there came in other color. There's black and yellow, so I guess I can always take a black one and paint it. That's an idea. Okay, so there's a lot of random in this sketchbook. This is probably going to be a lot different than other sketchbook tours you've seen. I'm not sure. I've seen quite a few that look so well manicured, like they're just planned and every page is like a work of art, and I don't feel like that's mine. So just that's a little forewarning, but I hope you'll enjoy this, and I hope it motivates you to work more in your sketchbook. So let's get into it. Let's go. All right, we start in 2019. I know it's embarrassing, 2019 to 2024, but you know what? I'm just proud of myself for finishing, and I look to do better in the future. So just some doodles with my micron pens. Love those. And then this was September 14th, and I believe the inspirational word was wash. And I started one of those 30-day challenge type of things where just you look up a word, they have like a word that inspires your drawing, and so I used ink, and yeah, I think this word was drum or music. I'm not quite sure. I didn't write anything down, but again, just the micron pen sketches. No pencil right here, just fun with the sketch. And then here is where I'm thinking up ideas for my logo. Kristina Moyer Art. So I want to keep that little O in there. I often sign the back of my cards something like this. But I was trying to think of some cool ideas so that I could have some merchandise in the future, which, by the way, I've been working on, and I'm really excited to share that. I have merchandise coming your way pretty soon. I told you this would be random. My friend is a teacher, and she wanted a zombie thing. She was just asking for a specific, like a quick sketch thing. So I quickly sketched this for her, and yeah, it's a little gruesome. Yeah, and I think that's holding a phone. I think it has to do something with phones in class. I can't exactly remember. It's been a while. Idea, I think that was September 22nd. Again, those micron pens. I think that's a size 1 because it looks a bit thicker. More planning. So here I'm actually using this side of the page. So I'm just thinking up ideas. You know, I was thinking towards something that was more obscure in terms of my KMO. So this is a K, this is the M, this is the O. So I really liked something like that, and I also really liked this kind of idea of where you could have, this would be like a really cute like necklace. So all these ideas kind of coming to mind, and these little reflections and things like that. You know, I love landscapes, so I was, playing with those kinds of ideas, and yeah, this is just like a little planning page. So here, I believe this was on the road somewhere, and I think that's what it was. I don't quite remember if this was like a plein air or if this was just, I was in the car sketching. Can't quite remember that, but clearly it's ink and like my micron pens and some marker. So just playing around with that. Back to logos. So you can kind of see I've started to kind of solidify, kind of what I want to do with it. And yeah, you guys can see my completed, like what I decided on my profile picture and everything. So yeah, love, peace, patience, beauty. It was the start of an idea for for a friend. Love this. This is a random Holiday Inn Express page. Just random, right? I don't know. This is October 3rd, 2019. I don't know where I was seeing this person that I was sketching from. I don't remember if it was from like some kind of magazine or something. I feel like that's what it was, but just a graphite sketch. Okay, here's a lot of fun. I'm so excited that I did this. Not because it's artistically amazing at all, but because of what it means to me. So back in 2019, well, actually, sorry, at the beginning of 2020. So this would have been the beginning of 2020. Look, there we go. We have a date. January 6th, 2020. So we went on a 2-month road trip and literally got home 2 weeks before the lockdown. So we were so blessed to be able to do a holiday. My husband has been fighting a rare cancer, and so we decided to go on like a road trip and do something special before he got too sick. He's still fighting, and he's a living miracle, so it's amazing. So we went on this crazy road trip. So we're driving through Montana, and each place that we drove through, I did a page, and then sometimes I did an extra special page. So this is Montana, and so I have little things like the cows, lots of cows. There was like a random tree that was decorated for Christmas that I thought was funny. We'd go through some cute towns, and Choteau was like this super cute town. And because of the time of year, we had kind of that snowy mountain look. So like in Dillon, there's these, I called them toasted meringue because the mountains looked like toasted meringue. Like it was spectacular. I was really amazed at how beautiful I thought Montana was. I've driven through, I think, once or twice before, but it was so long ago I didn't remember, and I don't think it was at this time of year either. And it reminded me a little bit of the Lethbridge Coulees, so if you know Lethbridge, Alberta. So then it was Idaho, and as soon as we hit Idaho, you could not see a thing. It was so foggy and sketchy, and so that's why I only drew the bottom half of Idaho, because as we drove through Idaho, we began to be able to see it, but it was pretty scary at first. Very flat, often couldn't see much, but there were mountains in the distance and some very cool things. We saw hawks. I can see my destination, but it's still miles away. It's a running joke. I mean, I live in the prairies, so you know what? I have nothing against flat prairies, but what is this? Irrigate those taters. Oh, irrigate the taters, the potatoes. Potato Museum. So then we go through Utah, and there's some cool Thanksgiving points. So beautiful. This brick canvas cafe, amazing, gluten-free. Saw some friends in Pleasant Grove, and there's just lots of the temples. We had the most incredible experience on the way home, actually. Tree of Life experience with Angela Johnson. Angela Johnson is an incredible sculptor, artist, and I was just amazed. We got to see her studio, and it was so cool. So I just wrote down some experiences, seeing some family in Lehigh, Kanab, and sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but Kanab was so cool. Red Rock Town, very cool. Then Arizona. So we were going to stay in Arizona for a while. So these places we're kind of just driving through up until this point. And don't worry, I'm going to speed through lots of my sketchbook, but this is like la creme de la creme for me. So in Arizona, we didn't plan this ahead, but obviously we wanted to see the Grand Canyon, which I'd never seen before, other than pictures and television, that kind of thing. But in person, I'd never seen it. So that was on the list. But I had a friend say, you know what, you need to see Antelope Canyon. And I'm like, okay, I hadn't really looked it up. Then I look it up and I'm like, yes, we do. And that morning that we were going to be driving through the area where we'd have to like make the turn off to go see it, we decided to do it. And you guys, so worth it. And actually, I had more of an amazing experience there than really the Grand Canyon. Of course, it was very cold when we drove through there, so that's, part of it. But Arizona is so, so beautiful. I think I really didn't expect it to be as beautiful as it was. I'm sorry to say. We grow up in Canada, you just don't have a clue about a place until you've really been there. And I think I was probably also a little bit nervous about seeing scorpions and, tarantulas, but it's okay. We saw some really amazing place, Matsuma Castle. That was so cool, unexpected. Every once in a while, what I love about a road trip is you can just be like, hey, there's this thing, let's go, let's turn off and go see it. Maybe it wasn't in the plan, but then you just make it a part of the plan. Sedona, oh my goodness, Sedona, spectacular. I mean, wow, all of these areas, that the colors, I was amazed. When I first saw saguaros, oh my word, I thought it was hilarious. They looked so weird in the landscape. I was like, what the heck? It looks so weird the way they're dotted on the hills. But then when you go for it, we went for a hike and they're just towers and they're incredible. They're just amazing plants. Lots of these kind of beautiful green, kind of sage greens and purple colors in the landscape that I was just amazed by. So definitely got to see some of these incredible things. Then we were in Scottsdale. We spent some time in Scottsdale, so it focused a little bit more in on this area rather than just the overall Arizona area. I felt like I had to kind of hone in and, share some of my experiences. So I have to share you guys this one right here. So this is a saguaro. What I was told is that there are only saguaros in Arizona. I believe we did see some in California though, and I'm not totally convinced that that is actually true. And I said, cute, not cuddly. They're so beautiful, all of these plants. But you have to be so careful when we're going on these hikes. All I'm doing is watching my steps to make sure I'm not stepping on something, stepping into a hole where there's like a tarantula or something like that. By the way, I did not see a tarantula, but I was only there like 10 days in this area. We saw some beautiful mountains, the sunsets. Oh my word. Oh my word. The sunsets. I'm in love. We stayed with our friends, the Reinsteins. So thank you guys for helping us out. We had some crazy things happen with trying to stay in our Airbnb issues. We went to this incredible fine art expo. Scottsdale is the place to go in kind of March. I think it's January, February, March kind of time. You have the Fine Art Expo, and there are the most amazing artists at this expo. I was just blown away, so inspired. I was like, maybe one day you'll see me at this expo. I don't know, but that would be amazing. That would be a goal for me. Then we moved to California. So we went on to California, and there's so much. Oh, wow. I was so excited when we were coming into California, and the trees are just outstanding. All of the hills, the landscape, beautiful. And of course, the ocean. Like, I love the ocean. I'm kind of scared of it, but I love it. I love to see it. I love to watch the waves crash, that kind of thing. But we stayed in Oceanside. So we have Oceanside. We were right on the beach, basically, in this, what is it? Did I have it somewhere? But we were in this awesome place and staying there. And we went, now I have a bit of stuff when we went up to LA, like Hogwarts and stuff, but then I decided to do my own page of LA and a specific one for Oceanside. But California overall, lots of fun. Pelicans, we had the San Diego Zoo. We went to San Diego a couple times. We went to Coronado Island. We went to the Encinitas Botanical Gardens. We love going to the gardens. I love taking pictures. I love seeing the nature and that kind of thing. Here's me on the elliptical. Just so beautiful. Succulents galore. I love succulents. We also went to Six Flags. So amazing. We also went to Hollywood. Why I have it crossed out is because I was kind of excited to see the stars, the Hollywood stars, and I was so disappointed. It was so dirty. I had so many people trying to like get money from me. I just didn't love that. So But we did love the San Diego Zoo. We loved the pier on Oceanside, and just Nectarine Grove. If you're in this area, Nectarine Grove, amazing. We went there a few times because we're like, oh my goodness, this is so good. We'd go in this beautiful hot tub in the place we were staying, which I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but it was so beautiful. All right, so this is our Oceanside page, and yeah, just exploring. You had the sand, we would relax on the beach, beautiful blues and orange glow, lots of palm trees and beautiful plants that I don't normally get to see. I did some watercolor painting because my husband wasn't well. We couldn't, do tons of activities every day. So we would kind of plan with one day doing something, one day resting. So then I would spend some time going through photos that I was taking, and also just doing some watercolor painting. So I was able to do some watercolor pieces that are really special to me, actually. I don't want to sell those ones because I just really love them. And then we went to LA. We stayed there for, I think, about a week, maybe, 1 week. Look, there. Confirmed. And we wanted to go to Universal Studios, so we made plans to go there, and we made plans for a specific date for that. And we got seasons passes for Magic Mountain because we kind of thought maybe we'd go to some other Six Flags locations and do more road tripping. But then the lockdown happened, so we didn't. But we did go to Universal Studios, and the reason getting seasons pass worked out really well when we did is we got a deal for like it was like a New Year's deal when we purchased it, and it had free parking because parking's really expensive, and because we're not as young as we used to be, going on rides, and we've never been on rides before, so it was so crazy for us to do this. But we did. We're just the first day we couldn't go on that many rides because of the G-forces. We're just trying to get used to them, and it was just so crazy. But we went on so many fun rides, and I was getting the travel bug at this point. I'm like, I want to go on more rides. I'm ready to go crazy here, and crazy. That one was very, kind of hard on the stomach. And Harry Potter, of course, amazing. So cool. Under Jurassic Ride was really cool too. So definitely worth checking out. I'm glad we did that, and it was really fun. And yeah. And the last one for this particular series that I'm going really slowly through, which don't worry, the rest of this won't be that slow, is Las Vegas. So we stayed a week in Las Vegas thanks to someone who gifted us their timeshare. Amazing for them to do that. So we were able to take time in Las Vegas. It wasn't necessarily in the prior plans, but then because somebody offered it, I'm like, you know what? It's on we can take that route for sure. And like on our way back up into Alberta. So very cool things in Las Vegas. A lot cleaner than I thought it was going to be, actually, especially after seeing Hollywood. I just thought it would be a little dirtier, but it's actually fairly clean. So I appreciated that. The weather was so beautiful. Everything looked so clear and clean, and yeah, really, really cool things to see. Just really cool. The chocolate store, oh my goodness. Massive, like Reese's peanut butter cups. I was so tempted to buy it, but then I was like, hey, I don't need this. I'm going to end up eating it myself. But the chocolate store is just fun to be in. I just love chocolate. So the volcano at the Mirage, the Bellagio show, of course, just walking around, so much walking. Walking everywhere. We saw the Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show, and that was actually so good. Just incredible. Loved it. We went on the high roller during the day. You can go at day or at night, and I loved it at day. I thought it was beautiful, and like nobody else was on it. We were on our own little cubicle thing. We didn't pay separate for that. We just were able to. So very cool. I mean, the only thing I didn't love is it's like a maze going through places often, and you have to like walk through a lot of casinos and things like that to get there, but just very cool. And I had my first cannoli when I was there. I had a Nutella cannoli in an Italian market type of area, so that was an incredible trip. So I'm really grateful that I got to do that, and thanks for sticking around for that bit. Let's move on to what's next. So I often use my sketchbook as a planner, as a brainstorming, mind mapping type of tool. And so, I might be trying to figure myself out, and I feel like I'm doing that all the time. Let me know in the comments if you're similar, if you can relate to that. So I have myself, kind of who I am, and different aspects of myself. Recorder. As you can probably tell, that is me. Teacher, lover of music. I love music. Artist, daughter of God. This is kind of an overview of what I felt like I am. And so then I kind of going into ideas of, what I want to create and what my business I want it to be, all of that. So just more plans about maybe paintings I want to kind of focus in on. Because for me, I can just keep creating random things, but one of my goals is to be represented in a gallery, and I feel like I need to kind of focus in on themes in order to make that happen. Because as a business for myself, but also business for a gallery, I understand that they want somebody that's going to provide what they expect they will receive. So I'm not putting myself in a box, but what things do I want to create? Landscapes, definitely. God's creation, so animals and nature, love. That's part of landscapes. Cowboys, Western, portraits, those kind of things. So I'm just kind of creating some ideas here. More ideas. Book illustration, that's kind of something I'm interested in. So this is just more plans. This is planning art for our house that we were thinking of purchasing after our trip. This is some plans for an art piece, spiritual related, and just like more plans with that. And sometimes it's a little embarrassing. I like to write little songs, and so this is a song that kind of I started, and this is a planning page for teaching some young men about photography. And this is our garden plan. Two different areas that I lived in, making plans. More plans here. That might have been the previous home. I was using this page. This is where it feels like is this a sketchbook? What is this? Are you using this as a notebook? But I was kind of using this as a notebook at this time with little designs and doodles here and there. But this was just planning some photos that I was taking and, things that I might want to paint. Oh, and what date is that? That's August. We're into 2020 here, August 2020. YouTube idea. Various random things. Oh, 1000. And some sketching. This is basically a year into the sketchbook. Haven't done much. So more planning. This is a 1000 contest. I actually didn't end up entering. This is another contest in my church. Did not enter. Then I started doing some portrait sketches. So it just said 2020. So just with graphite. And just keeping the one side so it doesn't have an opportunity to smudge on the other. I could put something in between, but I just decided to use just the one side. And just some of my sketches. Looks very serious. Right here. And sometimes I was doing these while my husband was getting treatment. And this is kind of just one of those mind mapping thought type of things. September 15th, 2020. So just thinking of ideas, action plans, and back to sketches. So if you don't use some kind of fixative, it is going to kind of blur a little bit onto here, kind of smudge. And that's okay. It's not a huge deal. You can see it's kind of smudged onto here a bit. I was just working on some portraits. And some of these I was taking from Pexels. Actually, I think all of these were from Pexels. And so I was just making note of who that was from so that I could tag them when I shared it on Instagram. like this one. The photo is quite interesting. And I was using a deeper graphite. You can see some of them I wasn't using as deep. And this one I continued that trend. Wasn't quite doing the 100 heads challenge or anything like that. I was just working on portraits. I like this one too. And then I tried out some pen. So that's why I decided I can use both sides of the page because it's not going to smudge onto each other. Not my favorite, but you know, just this is a place to test and play and figure out things. And I guess this one didn't want to waste a page. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. I used a little bit of pen and pencil in that one. Some red. It's very focused. So this, I was taking a Skillshare class by Joshua Johnson for heads. And this is such a fun class for portraits. And I really enjoyed it. All these random shapes. It's very comical and entertaining and useful too. I don't think I finished the whole lesson, but I appreciated what I did learn from it. And this was one of the pages while my husband was getting treatment called immunotherapy. And this is where he was at, waiting for treatment. This is him. We're masked up, busy hands. I kind of like this one here. It's kind of cool. It's not like a finished thing, but the hands are kind of in action, and I found that interesting. And more of that class from the portraits, practicing ears and noses and lips, the mouth. Very fun. And this is a piece I was working on of the Christus. And I think I sketched it and then pulled it out so that I could trace it. So I think that's why that one's torn out. And then a random face. But it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of interesting. No date on it or anything, just a random face. More plans. So here I actually have a painting. So sometimes I have paintings in here, and this is where the point where I started it. And I love that the sketchbook allows for it. It's not super thick. I think the weight's around 130 or 110 GSM, but it's really fun that I can actually do some acrylic painting in here. So I thought that was cool. So this is just a landscape piece of the area I live in. I think I did it off of a photo that I took. I didn't mark the date. And then another one. So you can see the difference when I use the tape versus not. The tape definitely makes it look more professional. Just more polished. I don't know if I was looking off an image off this one or just kind of going with the flow. This one I don't like, but I feel like I could add to it, but I'm just gonna leave it. This one here. So I sometimes go through these kind of cycles where I'm like, okay, drawing heads, now I'm painting. I do like the colors in this one. It's really fun. That bit of pink there. I really like this one. This one, all the colors, almost have like the rainbow almost going on in there. Nice, cool piece. That might be cool to do as a bigger piece, but I don't often work in my sketchbook to do a larger piece, but I think it'd be good for me to practice that. Okay, turn back to this way. So we have more plans. So this was planning my studio. So more how to plan it. I was thinking like, what are all the materials and plans that I have for the space? Like, what am I filming? I'm painting, packaging, varnishing, etc. So trying to plan my space based on everything that I have. So did I mention that my dad is a project manager? Although I'm not sure if I got any of this from him because of that, but who knows? All right, so I'm thinking about my desk space. Again, more planning for the studio space. Back to some portraits. And then I was asking people to send me portraits. So this is actually my friend Ken Reinstein, who we stayed with, him and his wife at in Arizona in Scottsdale. So that's 2021. This is one of my friend's kids. They made some funny faces and sent me photos. So I said, kind of had a thing going on my Instagram, just like send in a picture and I will draw it for my Instagram. And a friend of mine, we danced together, I mean, in the same studio back in the day. Another friend's kids. And then here, some kind of, I was taking notes during a spiritual conference, and so I was just making notes, but kind of sketching as I went. So making kind of a visual type, I mean, it's still words, but using the words to make kind of an image collage type of thing. And my friend's dog, it's so funny to me because Charlie doesn't sit on a couch like that, but he'll sit on the stairs like this. And again, that same friend's daughter. April 4th, 2021. There we go. It's always, see, this is what I need to do more often, is the actual date in there. It's actually my brother and his wife. It was an okay job. Not great. Some of them I'm not like super proud of, but this is just like the truth. This is my cousin. I love her hair. This is a Reinstein's dog. Charlie, and my dog Charlie has not met this dog yet. So we need to bring them together sometime. And more planning for my logo, because I was still not certain at this point what I wanted to do. So bringing back some of those ideas, trying to figure it out. I was going to start drawing some flowers, so dahlias and osteos that we had in our garden. Like a little tulip study, kind of. Kind of looks like an apple. And another portrait. Didn't realize I had so many portraits in here. I'm doing the 100 Heads challenge right now, and I didn't realize I had so many of these, but I do think it's nicer to work on this size than what I'm doing currently in my sketchbook, which is like this, and it's a bit harder, I think. At least for me. Just a random pen sketch, totally random. Again, this is another type of travel journal type of thing. Went on a young women's camp. My dog Charlie came, and the theme was, you're not going to understand it. It's do not doubt we are trout. Okay, hold up. Okay, I had to grab this because this was gifted to me by these girls that I went to this camp with, and they're fantastic young women, and that they made this for me and signed it was so touching, and I just love it. So we kind of made like a little acronym for what trout means to us, for like attributes that are things we want to follow. And so this whole trip was about whitewater rafting. That's the word. That's the phrase. So these are some of the rapids we went down, and it was crazy. It was so cool. I'd never done it before. So just making some memories here. This is my journaling type of thing. So that's one thing that if this summer you're trying to figure out how to keep going with your art stuff, make it a journal. Like, use it as a journal. And these are some of my favorite pages when I have a journal like that. And we actually had these t-shirts made with this little symbol, and I made a bookmark as well that we handed out. So I got to design the logo, and that was really cool. So I love that kind of thing. And so yeah, that was day 3. Okay, so this was planning out a card for a baby shower. July 13th, 2021. I'm trying to remember whose baby that would have been. So here I have some swatches that I was doing. Always good to do some swatches of your paints so that you know what it's going to look like when you use it. Because when it's in the tube, it's a little harder. And a sketch this is the sketch practice for my Skillshare video class on how to paint a bird. So if you're interested in knowing how to paint a bird, the link, I will post that. And here I was walking one morning and often would see the most beautiful sunrises in this area where I was living, and the hill would go this beautiful rusty orange color. And this particular morning I was trying to remember, I'm like, hey, I want to remember this. So as soon as I got home in the morning, I sketched this out so that I could remember like how beautiful those moments were. So sometimes that's what like makes me want to paint is that. So here I'm just putting in, these are the swatches I guess I used here. So rusty red and green on a cotton candy Easter sky, August 28th, 2021 at 7 a.m. That's the kind of detail that is helpful. That is helpful. Okay, flipping around now. And a little, oh, I guess this is just a sketch type of thing. Wisteria practice on the back. Little castle sketch, January 8th, 2023. And so just sketching that out. More swatches and just playing with some of that. So those are the colors. And then instead of writing each color down, because I was mixing colors, I have the little legend at the top, and then I put it down here with a little plus sign, and just I don't have to write the word over and over and over again. This is for a blending demonstration. This is for wedding place settings and that kind of thing. More practice there because I was working right onto a wood that I didn't want to ruin. And so that's a moment to use your sketchbook when you don't have extra materials of something. You have to get it right the first time, no mistakes. That's when I come to this. So little swatches happening in here. More practice swatching. Here I actually was planning a book cover. So the book is in existence, and I decided to plan it out first because I wasn't sure how close I wanted the door to be. So I brought it nice and close. Oh, my friend would like this. This is meant to be, this is really terrible, but it's just not well done. But it was just a quick sketch, and this is my friend Vanessa, and that's supposed to be me, I think. Yeah, I'm only saying that because she has shorter hair and darker hair, so Crenessa, so her name's Vanessa, and then, yeah, so I think if she sees this, she's gonna like that a lot. Just more random sketching, planning something out here, clearly. Little math bits here and there. So public transportation, January 8th, 2023. This must have been one of those, okay, today draw this type of thing. And public transportation was it. So there's the C trains, I think. Back to this way. So this was when I was working on the sunflower door. And I wanted to make sure I knew what all my yellows looked like before putting them onto a door. Again, a project where there was no room for mistakes. It's painting outside on someone's door and, having them near as well. Like, you can't make any mistakes there. More swatches. This is glued together, so we'll leave that be. This is from my fan brush demonstration video. So I have a fan brush. Like, do you need a fan brush? What you can do with a fan brush type of thing. I think it would be nice to have different colors going on, but for the purposes of just seeing what a fan brush does, I think this is okay, but I definitely could have expanded on that. This is testing out some new material, so the Liquitex Basics acrylic fluid paints. I had never tried the fluid paints before, so showing what happens if I add white, add water, more water, the pure color mixed, all of that, and then just a little sunset play. This wasn't off of an image or anything, it was just for fun. September 2nd, 2023. How does it play with others? So testing how those fluid acrylics work with some medium body acrylics, because just because it says acrylic doesn't mean it's going to play well. So I think it's always good to practice in the sketchbook. So here I'm planning out some design ideas for an ornament, some Christmas ornaments, and I wanted to make them focused on the Savior, Jesus Christ. And so I was planning out some ideas, and this is kind of similar to what I actually went with, this one here. Another thing here is February 14th, 2024. We're getting close to the end here. This was how to paint icicles, so a video on that. And this was from my video on techniques, different acrylic paint techniques. That's why it looks so random, because you have varying techniques here. And continued with more techniques. And that is just random. This is actually from the video for signing your painting. Now, what's interesting is that video, there were some comments about, signing your last name in full. And, ever since that, I decided that that's actually a good idea. And though sometimes I still just do my K-Mo, especially if it's a really small painting, I often now do K-Moyer, and I am making sure that I do write on the back the date. And maybe sometimes I'll put the date on the front, like the year. So I do appreciate people's insight that they share. This one here is planning colors for my cute little cow, Highland cow painting. So just planning, because I knew the background would be this raw sienna. So then I'm just seeing how colors look over top of it and seeing if I like my color scheme, so I can make adjustments beforehand. This is from my Posca paint pens. So some of these are just things I'm using for my YouTube videos or Skillshare videos, that kind of thing. And what's this? This looks like plans for our deck. Okay, not really art related, but so this is actually kind of what it ended up being for our deck, but it's, my plannings page. That's okay. Oh yeah, here's my Charlie painting. I love this one. It's cute. This wasn't long ago. This is May 24th, 2024. And we're getting right close to the end here, because this is a recent one that I created, playing with a new medium. What to do with a new medium. So with a new medium, you swatch it out first, and then I made a piece with that. So practicing with gouache there. And that was June 20th, 2020, so not long ago. And then this is the very last page, is my gouache paints swatches. I kind of like that it's the last page, because now if I want to go check out, start to use my gouache, I just have to come to the last page, and I don't have to find it somewhere in here. Although that came up pretty quick, probably because of this page, but that is it. I didn't do anything on this last page. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and let me know in the comments what you think about the way I use my sketchbook. I'm okay if you want to tell me straight up how you feel about it. It's okay. Appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.